Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dot Connect Wednesdays. This is episode 115. I'm Champ Bobbitt. This is Steve Bayonne. Before I get into anything, Steve, you got the floor, bro. Rock 'em out. I'll take it from there.
I appreciate it. What a call last night, man. If you missed the members only call, you might want to go back to it. Ironically, when I shot the gold situation, it came on me maybe 2 days ago, and then today you wake up and price of gold and silver kind of retraced a little bit. This is where first movers position and education matters, right? Because if you just got into gold recently at 43, 44, 42, and then you wake up in the morning to see your money dwindling, it's exactly what I spoke about 2 days ago on social media. I shot a two-part gold situation, and we talked about it last night. They will constantly do this, right? They are aware of what you know and what you don't know. And once gold starts to be the trusted situation, it always leads to a new system being built, right? So all the people in Vietnam running to buy gold, they were probably 4,300 entry. Like people are down 6-7%, both gold and silver. So you figure how much exited the market?
I think it was 1.6
Was it a trillion or billion?
trillion.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's not retail money, guys.
Mhm.
Okay, so you have to understand. So part of the reason why the money exited is because the dollar was showing signs of strength. It is just a cycle in the game that these guys play, right? It's not personal, it's just profitable. So if you're in position, you don't lose until you sell. Like I'm tired of people in my inbox like, oh, my friend lost. It's like, no, you only lose when you sell. So if you bought gold to hedge against inflation and all things, then you keep the money in gold. It's supposed to be parked. It's not make 5% and then sell it to get back into the dollar that's losing just as much. Like just tighten up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like if that's how you're gonna operate, stay at home, keep your money in the bank, keep working, keep putting them direct deposits in, and just figure it out. I mean, you've been doing that your entire life. Don't come on this side to play these games if you're not going to be ready to take accountability for the educational part. That's it. Stop panicking. The wild part about losing 5% on whatever that investment would have been is they're not even realizing how much money you lose on a daily basis just in the way that you're operating right now. So when gas is $4 and this is, everything's going up 10, 15%, the dollar is declining every single day. You're losing that much and you're not even realizing it. So if you're going to be on this side, pay attention to your business. Understand how this stuff flows and just don't take it so personal. You know what I mean? It's an investment. It didn't go to zero. It just lost a few dollars. And then you start to, before you panic sell, you go find out why it lost. And then you start connecting those dots. They're going to run it back up again. Right. But if you're exit liquidity at this point, you've lost your position. So all you can do is really dollar cost average back in, to try to get a more favorable entry or first mover's position. Because the goal I have, I don't even know what the entry price is, to be honest with you. That shit was like years ago. So I'm not worried about all that stuff. If you're dealing with physical commodities, guys, it's a hedge against inflation. Chill out. Just keep that joint tucked away. Right? If you got the digital, then you could offload that a little bit quicker. The glint pay situations that we have. All of this stuff is in the academy for you guys. All right. So here's the thing. I've been working on a bunch of different tech companies right now, and I just want to share something with you guys. And then Champ could just go ahead from there. Champ, I got sharing on. Okay, cool. So there's five. Um, so we're basically rebuilding the academy, right? And there's five things that shape our entire life, and this is what we're running with now, right? So number one was the mind, right? That's your operating logic and your belief system. Number two is your time. Pay attention to this one, guys. All right, this is probably one of the most important ones. That's why I put it second to mind, right? Your control over your energy and your attention. Where is your energy and attention going? I don't think you guys put value on the things that should be valuable, right? You only see things in dollar and cents. You will never, ever get to that point of enlightenment. Trust me when I tell you that. Your energy and time is your most valuable possessions. Y'all giving us, we're giving you time, we're giving you our energy, we're here. We are pouring into cups, right? You could be doing something that could be entertaining and may not be as fruitful, but for the moment, it's making you feel good. Those are the things you got to kind of put on ice for now. I'm telling you guys, it's 6 more months. The system's already being reset. Pay attention to all your applications. Pay attention to your bank. Pay attention to more information that you need to put in. Pay attention to the amount of sites that I've been on that are asking me to re-enter my information again. Pay attention. Pay attention to logos. So many logos that are changing. Pay attention to how Amazon just revamped the entire site. Pay attention. Right? We're going to keep connecting these dots, but I need you to pay attention. So we got the mind, we got the time, we got the data. That's your digital identity and privacy infrastructure. We got your money. That's fourth. All right. That's your learning. Your earning, your custody, and the wealth systems. And then you got mobility. That's last. That's the freedom to live, the freedom to move cross borders. We are covering every single one of those. So once you get that together, now you move into the 4 tiers of sovereignty. And that's what we'll be running on. This is the last iteration of what I'm gonna create. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm at the end of the road of this remix. Too many remixes right now. But it is an ever-changing world. So I saw a stat the other day that showed how many kids are in college right now that are learning about industries that aren't even going to be around. They're not even hiring right now. And they're sitting in the class getting this degree. What the who's your parent at this point? And y'all want to talk about meme coins and rug pulls? Like, yo, listen, we are built in a system that is filled with that. And y'all not even understanding it. Okay. 600,000 jobs, Amazon layoffs. Now what?
Robots.
November payments for Snap aren't going out. Now what? The dependency on a system is catching up to us, all of us. And whether you're on Snap or not, it's going to affect everybody because we all share the same space. So if you can help somebody out and you got a little bit extra, I'm just asking y'all just to do the right thing. So now we got these 4 tiers of sovereignty. Foundational, that's the mastering your mind, your time, your health, your community. Under these tiers is going to be where our programs are going to lie. All right. You got the digital sovereignty. That's taking back control of your data, your devices, your privacy. You got your financial. That's owning your income, your assets, and then your protection system. And then you have your global sovereignty. That's having the freedom to move, live, and operate anywhere you want.
Yep.
It's important, guys. I'm telling you, this is global. This ain't local. All right. Understand that you have choices. I'm starting to realize like it's some of y'all caught between a rock and a hard place. I asked you guys last night, what are you willing to give up? What will it take for you to comply? Would you lose the job? Would you go to jail? Like where do you draw the line? All right. So we've had so many courses I've been saying I wanted to drop, and I'm like, you know what, I'm over it. Like that cold storage wallet situation, that's just going to be included in the membership. Y'all figure this thing out. We're going to give you more tools to know how to read wallets. Y'all can have that. I'm just giving it away at this point now. We gave you the 4-day mastering money situation. That's just showing you the old banking system. Put a 1 in the chat if you went through it, and put a 2 if you have no clue what I'm saying and you remember. Understand the old system, then you start to put the new stuff in play, and then you'll understand. You can't know where we're going unless you know where we came from. They are using the same tactics of the past, from 1930 to 1970 to 2020. The same tactics with gold. So how do you position yourself at this point? I broke a story the other day about Tricon, a couple bankruptcies that happened. There's a debt bubble that's about to pop too at the same time. Nobody's paying attention to it. So you remember when y'all raising all this capital, going to Navy Federal, doing all this? Those are the regional banks. They're smoked out of here. So I can see why there's going to be five major banks. I can see why three people own 95% of all media. I can see why. Because monkey see, monkey do. Monkey see, monkey do. Circuit's been around for like hundreds of years, man. This is crazy. If y'all don't get off this ride, when it flips to digital, game over. Game over. And for most of you, it don't matter. For me, it matters because I operate in the sense of I see something, I say something. I use my platform for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather just go dark than to try to prove something to a bunch of people that ain't even really listening at the end of the day. Now, what happens when you lose your leadership online? Where do you go now? All right. So as I'm sitting with this shit, I'm like, you know what? I just need the right product next. And Skype and Venture is the tech arm and the investment arm of what we're creating right now. And I just need to concentrate on that. And this is the product, right? This is the initial the revamping of the academy. And then there's an app that we just wrapped up, and I just wanted to share with you guys in the champ. You could have at it.
Yeah.
I got shared on it.
Yep.
All right, cool. Where is it? Back to a million tabs again. Yo, I'm telling you, I was out in Colombia. I didn't open no tabs. Yo, where you live and the environment matters.
Matters. Absolutely.
Why did I come back to work?
Yeah. Welcome to the jungle,
Listen, I
man.
own my own business and I'm still like, why am I working? Trust me, it don't get no easier when you own your own stuff. All right, so this shit is coming to me like left and right, and I have to get it off, and I have to get it off quick. So this is the sovereignty score, right? So I told you we have this whole operating system thing that we're leading with. So the sovereignty score is to measure freedom in a programmable way, right? So what we did was we created an assessment, and it's free, right? You have the foundational, the digital, the financial, the global. This is all part of the five, or well, something's missing. I'll fix it. So we're following with the same tier structure. So what I did was I created a list of questions that are going to give you a sovereignty score. When you get to that sovereignty score, it's also going to break down into color category to let you know how sovereign you are and what areas you probably need to be focusing on. This is going to be totally free, right? So people just kind of understand what you can live with, what you can't live with. This touches all the aspects of the categories I told you about. And then the scoring is based on likely, or I do this, or I don't do this, or I don't know about that. And it's everything from your health, wellness, to the way you treat people, to the way you journal, global, everything. And then there's a point system, and that's how I've stacked the foundational first, and then I went into digital second. So those type of scores are a little higher. Global, I didn't add too much weight to it because it's like it's a lot to try to figure out where you want to go, and can you even go, right? So once you get your score, you'll be able to get the assessment, and from there, it's going to take you to what we're building now is a framework, and it's going to turn into a book. I'm done with digital products because I had to tell myself if we're telling people about this digital situation, and if we're still in this digital world, like what happens if the lights go out? What happens if they demonetize us? What happens if they take us off the internet? Like all the products are gone. So what's the saying? If you want to hide something from Zionists, what you do? You put it in a book, right? So I'm doing workbooks now. And this is Professor D put a major battery in my back looking at her workbook, which looked great. A physical, tangible, something you can touch, something that's offline, something you don't have to log into. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to get back to some of that, right? Some of the things that transform my life have been put into workbooks and books, right? So when the lights go out, you just need a candle and you need your workbook. So once you get your score, it's going to then tell you something else, but then that's when the workbook is going to drop next month We're going to be releasing that, and that's going to be one of the first ventures under what we call Skype Publishing. So we have that coming out, and then we have a children's book for AI that was done already. That just had to move from the publishing company we were using. So we're self-publishing. I don't need no help in the sense of like, I got it. I can't let myself down. I have never let myself down. So, yeah. So Skype Publishing is going to be another arm of the academy, and our workbooks and everything will kind of go through there. Not Professor D's. That's her stuff. But what we put out, you'll know. That's us. So, with that said, there's a lot going on this week, and I know Champ wants to cover and connect a lot of dots. Guys, it is happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, this timeline has been on since like last year, and I couldn't really see it, but now I'm like, oh, okay. November, watch what happens. Just watch what happens to all markets in November. Okay. And then when we go into Q1, that's when you're going to really start to see certain things. The one advice I would give you guys is do not panic sell, whether it goes down or it goes up. And that's not financial advice. I'm just telling you, do not panic sell, because when you're selling to go back to fiat, you better have something to do with that money. This is why we're pivoting to ventures. This is why you're going to watch Champ and I create IP. This is why we're creating decentralized businesses so people can get involved in money sharing opportunities. You understand? You have to put your money to work. If you sell and you're sitting on a lot of profit and you think you're good, then what's the first thing you're going to do? Probably pay off a couple bills here and there. You might add a couple bills here and there, right? You might blow a little bit here and there. But I'm talking about solid investments, guys. And when you sell, you never get those entry positions again. These are assets. You're supposed to borrow against them. All right. It's a new system that's being built. The DeFi market, everything is here. We've been telling you guys about this. So next Tuesday, we'll start to talk about the DeFi market, the tokenization, how to run your own bank on, well, that's going to be a 1% situation, XRPL, XRP Ledger. So you guys can kind of see what this system is going to be like. If you're not accountable for different aspects of your life, you're not going to be able to work in these areas, right? Because it requires plugging this, it requires checking that, it requires like paying attention to your business, not just going to work and then direct deposit hits and then you just swipe a card. That's not sovereign. That's very dependent. All right. Let's start to break away slowly from the dependencies. So this month in October, we started already. We started the conversation. You're going to start to see a new course open up, the Skyton Academy, the sovereignty course. Once that opens up, we're just going to be identifying dependencies. You're going to have access to the sovereign score. You're going to have access to the book. You're going to have access to a lot of information. Get that crypto shit done. There's 9 parts. If you're new, 1 through 9, just sit through it. You understand? Just get a good foundational understanding of it, and then you'll understand where to go next. And the reason I say to do that is because you have to work on those other elements, the time management. We have 2026 coming up, so we have to do, our planning and execution for 2026. I don't want to start in January. I need to start next month to start looking at the year, start looking at, start to break things down, condense, and work backwards. So you'll watch me build the entire 2026 for the academy, myself, and then you guys can kind of follow suit too. You have to be in control of this time. All right. Did I stop this? No. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good product right there. That's a solid tech product right there. And it's all about data and information at the end of the day. And I can go on for days of what verticals I could build around it, but for now, I just need that to be a feeder for people to get access to information, just know where you're at, and just give you some valuable feedback on what you should be doing and what it could look like if you don't do this stuff. Don't fuck this up, guys. I'm telling you, especially that you've been in this room and I've seen a lot of you guys over and over. Do not drown in this tsunami that's about to come. And it's not all bad. It's just things this is just it. This is just where we're at. You know what I'm saying? If you've been doing the work, you're fine. If you haven't been doing the work, you better pivot quick. And that job of yours is going to be what traps you. Any bargaining chip in exchange for freedom is going to be linked to your job. I guarantee it. That's the first thing they're coming for. So if you don't believe me, watch Europe right now. Look at all of London. Look at the head of the EU central bank. Look at how they're talking to people and the dates and the timelines. Everything is now for digital ID.
Yep.
They're not even being polite about the shit. But one thing I know about them, they're not like us. They actually go out in the streets and cause some damage.
Mhm.
They'll just put something online for us and they'll shoot another movie and we'll just be a little bit occupied. They got the time for the stuff. But they're smoked anyway. All right, champ, you got it. Yeah, Colombia's in a war with the United States now. I'm like, yo, great. Like I had that pick the right place.
Crazy. So
I'm like, bro, I'm not even a gringo.
travel restrictions, anything like that so far?
I don't know, man. But listen, I'm a little bit different out there. I ain't going there on vacation.
Straight up.
But I also don't got my papers together yet. It's just a stupid back and forth though. Again, that's part of the show,
Yeah.
right? But this is expansion now. So, all eyes off of Gaza now. It's like, oh, South America, easy continent to kind of pick on, very rich and fruitful. Can't really go to Africa with the bullshit because they've already broken off. They're already forming alliances with Russia and China. So this whole time you thought Russia and China was the boogeyman.
Crazy.
Crypto winter. I've been hearing crypto winter for the last like 4 years, man. They still saying that?
Still saying
They
it.
still saying it's crypto winter?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous, man. Stop following those old timelines too. These guys, they'll regurgitate the same thing and miss the information that's being put together. It is not going to run through the same cycle again.
At all.
All that bull and bear market shit, stop. It's just the market. I have no emotion behind up 10%, down 20. I have no emotion anymore behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Just holding on for dear life right now. That's all. All
That's
right,
it.
champ, you got it. I'll be right
Yeah.
back.
All right, my guy. I got you. Um, all right, so ladies and gentlemen, because we have YouTube live, um, what's up, everybody? Go over there on the YouTube side. Before we dive in tonight, I just want to send a quick reminder to anybody who is not yet a member of Skyton Academy. Right now, we have a trial for just $1. Your first month inside the academy is literally $1, 4 quarters. And then after that, it's going to be $50 a month. No promo code is needed. All you have to do is visit skytonacademy.com. The replay, for those of you who do watch the replay, it's going to be in the description below. Just click the link, get started today. All right. So, y'all ready to connect these dots? Because right now, it's a lot happening, right? And it's with my favorite project in the company that utilizes it. So, XRP and Ripple. So, first things first, I'm going to start with Evernorth. Does this ring a bell for anybody? There's a new company that literally just entered the stage, and it's about to change the entire structure of XRP's global adoption. It's called Evernorth Holdings Incorporated. One simple mission. It is going to make XRP the foundation of institutional finance. Point blank, period. This is not speculation. This is not a guess. This is what they were created to do. It's a regulated financial entity that is designed to accumulate and manage XRP the same way central banks hold gold. Um, and it is going to be done as a reserve asset in this digital era. All right. So, first things first, Evernorth is going public on the Nasdaq and is going to be under a ticker called XRPN. X-ray, Romeo, Papa, November. All right. And what they're doing is they're merging with a SPAC. This is called Armada Acquisition Corporation II. And their deal is basically to raise over $1 billion. But here's the key. That money isn't coming from retail. Basically, it's not coming from you and I. It's coming from institutional pipe financing. Basically, that's private investment in public equity. So that's a route that lets banks, funds, major corporations, and stuff like that, they're going to be able to secure equity positions before the public even gets a chance to. And for those of you who asked, it's called Armada, ARMADA, Acquisition Corp the second. And then inside that pipe, here's a bunch of details. So the devil is always going to be in the details. So pay attention. All right. If you got a notebook, you got a pen and pad, you might want to start jotting some notes. SBI Holdings. This is Japan's banking giant. They just dropped 200 million. Ripple Labs, they're in it too. And they're joined by Pantera Capital, Kraken, GSR, and RippleWorks. This is Ripple's own impact foundation. And this right here, this is the part that changes everything. Ripple is contributing 126,791,458 XRP tokens directly into Evernorth. They're not selling them, they're contributing them. And what they're going to get back in return is company equity in Evernorth. So now you got XRP being locked up and tokenized into ownership. Ripple is basically converting the excess supply into equity. They're tightening that circulating float and they're grabbing real value and they're setting that into regulated financial structures. Now, here's where we dot connect. Who's running Evernorth? Does anybody know? YouTube side here on Zoom. If you know, drop it in the chat. Who's the CEO? Who's gonna run? Who's gonna steer the ship at Evernorth? All right, so we don't have a delay. I'm gonna tell you. It's a gentleman by the name of Ashish Birla. Does that name sound familiar to anybody? That's Ripple's former senior vice president of product. He's the architect of RippleNet. Now he's the CEO of Evernorth. So he left his fort at Ripple, built something called Evernorth. He's now the CEO over there. He is going to be the big dog in that seat. You see how that connection works? So not only is Ripple investing into something, Ashish Birla is going to be the guy, and he was just the vice president, the senior vice president. Now, there was a tweet that was just put out yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. The CTO of Ripple, David Schwartz, he just announced that he's stepping down as the CTO of Ripple at the end of this year. And guess where he's going? He is going, he's going to stay on the board for Ripple. He's moving over as a strategic advisor at Evernorth. So now Ripple's brain trust, the people who actually built the XRP ledger and a bunch of the components that was needed for XRP to thrive, they're moving to an entity designed to institutionalize XRP. That is the number one mission. Do y'all hear me out there? This is not an ETF. This is a publicly listed XRP Treasury company. Basically, what they're going to do is they're going to generate yield by lending, liquidity provisioning, DeFi strategies, and they're going to partake in being a validator. So this is going to happen with the goal of basically just growing XRP per share, not just mirroring the price. The whole intention behind this company and everything that they're doing, all the partnerships, all the connections, they're going to continue to push XRP, but now you got to remember, they already have the stablecoin RLUSD in the works. The institutions were somehow, quote unquote, scared of XRP because they felt like it's a digital asset. It can go up or down in value, right? But you got to understand the positioning. People get wrapped up in price and in value when they realize and they did what's called a pilot with XRP itself. They realize every person who's used it has found immense value and liquidity and savings in their day-to-day operations. Now the fear is completely gone. And now you have another player and their sole mission is to say, all right, every institution, I'm going to need you guys to use XRP. This is how you do it. This is how we're going to push the envelope. This is wild. All right. So now every XRP moved into Evernorth becomes part of the regulated balance sheet. That means less supply, more transparency, and you got a compliant on-ramp for banks, hedge funds, and even governments that's going to gain XRP exposure through the traditional markets that already exist. This is the bridge from crypto to the capital markets, from volatility to structure, from speculation to sovereignty. And the timing couldn't be any more perfect. Ripple's under right now, they're under full regulatory clarity in the US, right? SBI is going to provide the banking muscle. For those of you who do not know, I'll kind of go into SBI a little bit, but please do your research on SBI. They're a big investment arm, and their job is basically to acquire banks and consolidate them. Basically, they're grabbing a small fish and they're converting them into big players. And per Yoshitaka Kitao, he's the CEO of SBI. He said every bank in Japan is going to use XRP. Listen, his words, not mine. All right. So now that you got the banking muscle, Japan already approved XRP as a liquidity reserve asset. And in Evernorth, they're doing the institutional lockup. So it's Ripple's financial arm for the next era, period. These guys are setting up to be a whole entire digital reserve system. Everybody who's a participant that joins Evernorth, they remove XRP from the open market and they no longer can trade it, period. It's all about who can own it. And once it's gone forever, period. I truly want you guys to sit with that. That means the opportunity that you guys have right now is next level. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. You know what to do with that info. All right. So now I'm going to take you guys to Japan. We're going to travel east. All right. Japan just made a move that proves that that institutional XRP adoption is actually happening. All right. So there's a company that's based out of Tokyo, and I did a crypto and 10 on this. So all of the members of Skyton Academy, I'm pretty sure that you guys have heard about this company. It's called Gumi, Gumi Incorporated. Now, they're one of Japan's top gaming and Web3 companies, and they officially joined forces with SBI Holdings and Ripple to basically participate in this Evernorth XRP Treasury. And here's how they did it. So I'm gonna break this down. So they ultimately ended up investing through the same pipe financing route. This is the one reserved for major institutions to buy in before a company hits the public markets, right? Gummy is sitting at the same table with Ripple and SBI. They got front row access to institutional XRP expansion. Gummy invested 5 million, right, directly into Evernorth's pipe. And then they committed an additional 2.5 billion yen. That's like I think the conversion was like 17 million US dollars. Basically what they're going to do is they're going to use all of that 17 million to purchase XRP between last month, which was September 2025, through February of 2026. And this is one company. This isn't a flip. Like they stated clearly, this is a medium to a long-term growth strategy. They're going to use XRP for international remittances, as a liquidity network and DeFi, right? So this is going to be big. They're even aligning with SBI's operations, and that's their largest shareholder. So now you're starting to see how they're going to weave XRP into Japan's financial and gaming ecosystem right now. This is wild. Now I want you guys to think about that. You've got a gaming company. It's one of the biggest gaming companies in Tokyo, right? In Japan, period. They're integrating a digital asset into their treasury strategy. That is what I call compounding infrastructure. These guys are going into finance, gaming, blockchain, and it's all going to be powered by XRP. All of the regulators in Japan, they already opened the door for that because they gave the thumbs up. You got the Financial Services Agency and the Bank of Japan. They both cleared all corporate agencies to be able to purchase XRP under that regulated framework. And I said regulated. So this is not something that they just can ultimately remove. This is already in stone. It already got the thumbs up, same way it does here in the United States. Now, there was a bunch of reports that I kind of went down a rabbit hole. I haven't been able to kind of perfect everything, but there's a couple things that I went down a rabbit hole on. And some of those Japanese companies right now, they're going to invest in this treasury. And it's there's speculation right now that's saying that they can invest up to 100 billion collectively towards the XRP treasury. Gummy is the first mover. It's the very first company that's official, right? So they're locked in with their investment. They were the first to confirm its role with Evernorth under that model. Oh, it's about to get real. So the first non-financial company in Japan, they already are legally set to acquire XRP under the guidelines. So if a gaming company can hold XRP on its balance sheet, so can the bank, so can the manufacturer, so can all of the other tech oligarchs and the conglomerates over there. This is how the domino effect happens, right? You ever seen, there's a graphic that floats around. There's like a mountain, right? And at the top of the mountain, there's the guy. He's standing at the tip of the mountain, and there's a huge boulder, right? And he's about to push it over. And under, like, as the path is going, there's businesses, and it's acquiring the businesses. So it's growing in the graphics, right? And there's like 4 or 5 graphics. So it's basically telling a story. This is what that means. This is the translation of that. When you have one player who sees something early, they innovate, they adopt, they implement. What else happens? Everybody else sees it, they follow suit. A lot of people don't really innovate in a thought process. They see what their competitors do, they see what other companies, corporations, governments do, and then they mimic it. So, this is how you're going to truly start to see nationwide and global adoption start to go crazy. So when Steve gave you out a heads up about next month, starting next month, not financial advice, hold the it's a phrase in crypto on crypto Twitter that says stay with the package. That means do not sell your assets. Stick with the package. All right. So in summary for that, Ripple builds the tech, SBI provides the rails, Evernorth created the Treasury framework, and in Gummy, they prove that that framework actually works. This is the pilot for Japan, period. This is a blueprint that the rest of the world is going to follow. And we always told you guys, Japan is like the number one nation when it comes to being like as far as like economy. They are huge. So when they move, the rest of the world actually watches and follows. All right. So you got Evernorth that's raising 1 billion, Ripple's locking up 120, almost 127 million. And then you got Gummy that's adding another 17 million more. And that's just with those couple companies. Imagine what the rest is about to happen. All right. So XRP isn't being traded, it's literally being absorbed. It's going to be removed from exchanges. You won't be able to see it, you won't be able to capture it off the open market. That value, you're going to start to see it appreciate. All right. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. All right. I just see things a little different. So by the time the world realizes like all of this stuff is happening, it's going to be real, man. And this is a treasury situation. So, what remains is what's going to be available. You know what I mean? So y'all better seize the opportunity while you have it. All right. And then now I want to zoom out, right? So Ripple broke into the $120 trillion corporate treasury market. It's 120 trillion with a T. This is wild. They literally just pulled the lever that controls the entire system. They officially broke into that $1 trillion corporate treasury payments market. Ripple is not playing right now. And every piece of their technology has to use XRP, right? Ripple is literally building the financial backbone of the future, one acquisition at a time. And I'm gonna kind of walk you guys through a couple acquisitions that they had, and I'm gonna tell you what each of them does so you have a great picture. All right. This latest move just connected it. Basically, this acquisition, this just connected Ripple to the heart of the global banking system. All right. So basically, they bought a company called GTreasury. Steve put out a fire post on this, on a reel on this on Instagram. So you follow him. Go watch that reel. Super fire. So it's a condensed version of this. All right. So basically, when they bought GTreasury for $1 billion. Now, GTreasury is not a crypto company. It's a treasury and risk management system. And they call it TRIMS, right? Or TRMS, Tango, Romeo, Mike, Sierra, right? You could think of it as kind of like a command center, right? This is where all the large corporations they manage all of their money. So every account, every payment, every currency, all of it in one place. It's a central hub, it's a central location. G Treasury's software, it helps those companies see how much cash that they have sitting in hundreds of bank accounts all around the world, schedule payments, manage loans, track the impact of the currency changes, all the way down to their bottom line. So it's connected to over 800 banks right now. And I'm gonna give you a couple of them. JP Morgan, y'all tell me if this sounds familiar to you. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and PNC. At the top of the call, didn't Steve just tell you I can see now how with all the stuff that's going on, I will have five big five banks? I just gave you five. These are the largest players in the financial system, all connected. So basically what it does is it integrates the corporate software systems, and they're called ERPs, the enterprise resource planning systems. For those of you who want to be technical, so it's things like SAP, SAP, Oracle, NetSuite. These are the things that the big companies use, the software systems that they use to run their entire financial system. Right, all of the accounting runs the operations. It runs through those. So with Ripple buying G Treasury, what do you think that does? Because G Treasury, they're already moving money across the same network that Swift does. Swift is the outdated old messaging system that the banks use right now. It's international, right? It's super slow, expensive, it's outdated. It's basically the dial-up of the internet of finance, right? When Ripple bought G Treasury, they now control the platform that it already connects directly to the same global financial pipes that Swift has been running on for decades. And Ripple now can plug in its own technology, XRP, the XRP L ledger, RLUSD, the stablecoin. Everything in the tech stack, it can literally be plugged in like an API, and it's going to make all of those transactions instant, low cost, at the blink of an eye. That's wild. When we told y'all that these tech companies, these cryptos are literally tech companies and they're solving major problems, this is a prime example. This means companies can now move all of their money between all of their global offices, no matter where they at, no matter the currency, no matter the suppliers, instantaneously without waiting 2 to 5 business days or paying crazy bank fees or any of that stuff. It's literally a direct connection, a highway where you can transfer value right into the systems that the Fortune 500 companies are already using. That's wild. And that's just one piece of the bigger plan, right? So in the last year alone, this is where I'm gonna break down all of the connection pieces. So just in this last year, you had 4 acquisitions. You had Medico. I might be pronouncing it wrong. Medico or Mataco. They bought that for 250 million. That gives Ripple crypto custody and tokenization technology. Basically, it can store digital assets securely for institutions. Then they bought Hidden Road. They bought that for 1.25 billion. Hidden Road, that's a global prime brokerage. Basically, it's like a platform that helps a lot of the big financial players. They can trade and settle across multiple markets. They handle over 3 trillion a year, right? So just that one acquisition for 1.25 billion gave them access to those type of fees and transactions, 3 trillion a year annually. Then they bought Rail, RAIL, right? They bought that for 200 million. Basically, that's the back end tech for stablecoin payments. They're helping automate all digital transactions at scale for all institutions, all governments, period. That's why they call it Rail. And when we say Ripple owns the rail, they literally own rail. Who owns the rails? And then now they just bought GTreasury for $1 billion. That's a $1 billion purchase. Now that gives Ripple the control of corporate money movement all by itself. Now, when you put all of this together, Ripple now owns every single piece of the puzzle: digital asset custody, liquidity, payments, global treasury management, so forth, so on, right? This is no longer about competition with Swift. When you're talking about um, XRP and you're talking about Ripple, there's a post that they put out during a long ago. One of the guys was doing a presentation, and during the presentation, he asked the audience, he's like, "So, how much money do you think Ripple is trying to control?" People were throwing out random numbers. Everybody was off. Then he says, "All the money." People laughed and thought it was a joke. They meant exactly what they said. They created this to be able to move money in anything of value for anybody and any entity, period. Now, do you see how important building something is and standing on what you believe? Because they're demonstrating. Kind of sounds like what Skyton is doing. All right. So now, truly, this is no longer at all about a quote unquote competition with Swift. They literally just became the bloodstream for the new global financial system. And the wild part is, me and Steve were having a conversation a couple days ago. And it's a lot of these tech guys, man. These guys are just off-putting, man. They're weird. But one of the connection pieces that's tied to this is Palantir, right? They're a U.S. defense and intelligence data company. They use GTreasury software inside of its own financial systems. So basically, now Ripple indirectly touches parts of the government-related financial infrastructure too. That's another level of strategic depth. Like these guys are not playing. Brad Garlinghouse put out a tweet. And he basically was saying, for too long, money gets stuck in these outdated systems. The costs are too high and it causes a lot of delays, right? And he was like, with the acquisition of GTreasury, Ripple can now help companies unlock trapped capital, move money instantly, and open new growth opportunities. Now, all of that sums up that whole phrase is one thing that I always used to tell y'all about: walled gardens. I always told y'all banks always have to use a middleman when they're doing remittances, when you're sending money from one place to another. When you do that, right, you have to pre-fund the transactions. Those are called nostro vostro accounts. That money has to literally sit and pile up. That's inefficient. Money is not supposed to be hoarded or stockpiled. It's supposed to be free flowing. It's supposed to be in motion. When money's in motion, you're able to make more of it and you're able to grow it. That's what the banks are striving to do. Now you have innovative tech and they're merged with it. So now that those trapped capitals, those walled gardens, it's all about to be moving, right? So now you're about to really see a tsunami of money that's about to move. And this is huge because this is governments, this is fintechs, this is all institutions around the world. It doesn't matter whatever you're purchasing. So we're talking $1 billion transactions, $1 trillion transactions. It all can happen like that, 3 to 5 seconds. So this is a huge tech upgrade, not just for the companies who are using it, but just over the overarching. Like this is literally the financial revolution we've been talking about for the longest. So people are really starting to be able to see this, and it's real demonstration, it's real examples that's happening. So when Ripple bought GTreasury, they didn't just partner with the banking system. They literally became part of it. Ripple is now at the intersection of traditional finance and the new digital economy. And with 40% of the XRP still held by Ripple, every single step that they take forward towards like real world integration, this is going to increase their global footprint on the XRP ledger. This is what compounded infrastructure is. Every single acquisition that happens with Ripple is making it stronger and preparing it for the next one. So from custody to clearing to liquidity, corporate flow, Ripple literally built an entire bridge from the old way to the new way. Swift didn't even see it coming. So Ripple didn't even challenge the system. It literally became the system. This is wild.
So listen, just take a pen and paper out. Let me just. He said a handful. He said a mouthful of shit.
I'm bored.
He's spot on. So listen, Hidden Road, and just research all these companies too. So Hidden Road is what gives the access.
Mhm.
GTreasury is what gives the control. All right. And then Rail handles the settlements, and XRP is what moves the money.
Hello.
That's the dumb version of it, guys. I can't dumb it down anymore. So once you look at Hidden Road, you look at GTreasury, you look at Rail, you should know XRP already. See what they do, see how much liquidity moves through them, and you'll start to see the capital market. This is what you call a um, a tsunami of liquidity that's about to pump into XRP right now. And I'm just gonna say the fuck out loud because it just is what it is. It's the only company that's expanding like this, and there's Fortune 500 companies that aren't even purchasing anything right now, and they're sitting on cash.
At all.
Once you guys understand those three acquisitions right there, you'll start to understand the greater financial market, global financial market. So this is like global liquidity. This ain't retail investors. And I know some of you guys are like, oh, but they wouldn't want us to have all that money. Like, listen, they're not even worried about the little bit that retail has in cryptocurrency.
At all.
It's minute in comparison to like what's about to happen. All right, so talk yourself out of this shit if you want to. And this ain't financial advice. I'm just stating what the obvious is right now.
Mhm.
Man, you smoked that.
My God.
But it's going over their head because I know some people on here don't even know what liquidity is. Some people like there's just basic terms that we just have to get back to the essence. If there's something on here that you don't know what the word means, look it up.
Look it up. Yep.
Like don't let it go over your head and think whatever. No, piece the shit together. Look it up. Put it in Chat GPT. The same way that I just gave it to you. Put it in there and let it just do the research for you and say, listen, give it to me as if I was a third grader. And I'm not trying to play you. I'm just telling you, like, listen, it's a financial language for a reason. It
Mhm.
wasn't meant for everybody to speak this.
Yep.
These
Absolutely.
guys didn't do anything. These words mean the exact same fucking thing. They just a bunch of different words. I come to realize that they're not that bright. They're actually really dumb. Because if I created a board game and I let you play it and it's my rules, then it's like you'd just be playing by my rules. That doesn't make me smarter than you.
Yep. Not at all.
Shit, y'all can't get money messing with us in this digital future. Then you just didn't execute. Or you panic sold, or you panic bought, or most of you sitting on the sideline talking about, yeah. Okay, no problem. This next iteration of the academy is not going to be open to a lot of people. I'm telling you this
Yeah.
at all. I thought about creating an AI version of myself, and I'm like, man, they're not even deserving of that.
Mm.
It's going to be too much noise and too much competition out there right now. I'm watching all these plugins. You just speak it, the website. Man, I built this app in like however much time I spent on it. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So where's the playing field when we're just hit with so much? Like you got a whole bunch of chiefs coming into into the realm and no Indians. So you gonna sell me something, I'm gonna sell you something back. Everybody's gonna be an expert in something. That shit ain't gonna work. That's gonna crash.
Facts.
That entire AI market is gonna topple. Again, it's gonna be 5 companies that are gonna run and control all the AI products that we use if we allow it to happen like that.
Yep.
Now, I didn't want to interrupt. I did want to like dumb
Mm.
it down for them because it really just is that, guys. And I'll go one more time again for the guys in the back. Hidden Road gives the access. GTreasury gives the control. Rail handles the settlements. XRP moves the goddamn money. Even if they were to get 1%,
Mhm.
price is not value. Watch the world liquidity move. Watch the world liquidity move soon.
Mm.
And the wild part about it is these type of events have happened before, not on this level, but they've happened before, and we had no clue this shit was happening. Why? Because we don't come from that. We not cut from that cloth, right? My parents weren't involved in the financial market outside of just being. I know they were complying back in those days. Go to work, come home. Go to work, come home.
Yeah.
Ask for permission to go on vacation. We weren't even taking vacations.
Mm-hmm. Lucky to
Cut
do
from
that.
a different cloth, man. This just this information alone, guys. Don't look at anything else in the crypto market outside of what he just pointed you to. I see people on YouTube talking about, oh, ETFs about to go up. Stop with those products. Do not support those things.
Yeah, don't support them. Yeah.
You can just go direct. What do you need an ETF with link and this and that? And it's like just listen to the plays they calling out. And if you want to simplify it, then research those things.
Mm-hmm.
But why would you put $1 into an ETF? That's that dependency. That's that trust. Y'all stuck on that blue magic, man. You need to come off and detox off these guys, man. They've been eating for a minute. You can go direct now.
Mm-hmm. Nah, you dumb that down. I like that. Get off that
All
blue
you need to
magic.
do is dumb this shit down because it's just they,
Yeah.
they're running circles with all this stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know these companies, these things existed before. And then you look at just the GTreasury part alone. When I went down, just seeing what that company does, and it's like it's a system that just basically that corporations use to like monitor. What else can they do? They can allocate
I can
and
move
they can
money. Yeah.
manage funds. And this is like global funds. These dudes don't know where their money's at any given point.
Which is
Just think about it. If you had money in 50, 60 different countries in different like how do you manage that stuff? They've been had these systems. I'm I'm sending money, like Colombian dollars week now. Like I'm like, yo, let me get the money over. I had to send money today. I timed it perfectly.
mm-hmm.
You know, they're pulling out of those markets right now. News does affect these cycles. So you just have to stay connected to the right news. Start studying the Japan carry trade situation. I broke that down months ago. The next thing, and I'm gonna post this too, setting up shorts and ETFs that are wrapped around regional banks right now. When I posted that tricolor situation, there's a contagion going on at these regional banks right now, and I know it. I know it just from being in the financial space, right? If you had a pulse, you can get credit from most places.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that people are like stating like it's just nobody's going to be able to pay because what you spent the money on is not coming to fruition right now. So you're going to pay the mortgage and the house bills first. That debt is not being paid. This is why you see a lot of people in court. This is why, they're really trying to like get this stuff back. But they're cooked. So if there's any product that I would want to buy right now, it would be a failing bank. It would be a failing radio station, right? Like, trust me, you're going to need radio. You're going to see a surge in that. And I can't speak on it too early, but you're going to see something. And I'm going to present something to you guys down the pipeline. And just give me a month on this one. And you'll be like, damn, he did say that. I'm telling you, it's going to be in what. And look at George Soros. He just bought a whole bunch of radio stations the other day.
Yeah. Yep. Crazy, man.
Ask yourself why. That shit
X.
ain't over.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Pay attention to them putting payphones back up. Pay attention to payphones when you're outside. Why are they putting payphones back up? You might want to connect that house phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, you might want to connect the house phone because it's part of your plan anyway. I wish I was tripping, man. I really do. I hate to have to put these connect these dots like this. But what Champ just gave y'all today was the play to make. I wouldn't even be concentrating on nothing else cryptocurrency outside of what he just told you today with those acquisitions. So once you understand what those companies are and the liquidity they move, it's going to start to point you in the right direction. And if you look at the trade show list for every talk that's coming up right now between here, DC, Dubai, everything is associated with tokenization. It is here already. So
Yep.
this government shutdown wasn't about like people not agreeing on things. They just needed to get everybody the fuck out the office. You telling me nobody's walking inside those offices right now? You telling me there's no upgrades being done to a system? You can't upgrade systems with people still typing on the keyboards. This shit ain't about them dudes not agreeing on anything. This is the reset. It's obvious this is the reset.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the internet where it sits, and then you look at the foundation and the stilt that AWS has, this is how I know we're going to have digital IDs. The internet is literally sitting on AWS right now, and you kick that from under, nothing works. So who's got the power? Think
Man,
about it. Who's got the power? You telling me AWS can't shut the internet down? So now we back to super centralized systems. But we so dependent on it. Chill out on Amazon. Just go to the local store. It's the same price.
yep.
I'm just saying. That boy having a good old time right now, man. He just sold the crib for 53 million and he just moved to his Miami debunker joint for 237 million. And the bunker situation is just getting out of hand right now. And my man plays golf on that golf course and he speaks to these guys. And they're all there and it's active now. So what do you think is happening?
Preparation, man.
Watch. The money counter gets turned on this month, maybe November,
Straight
right?
up. Yep.
They're gonna turn it on right with the with these elections coming up, right? November 4th, we got something going on.
Yep.
Watch how great this economy looks. Gas gonna be below 250, $2. Watch how quick they're able to manipulate these markets right before this midterm. The most pivotal midterm. Not that any of this shit even matters. They're out the office because they're updating the systems.
Yep.
That's it. All right. Y'all welcome in advance. I don't want to hear no thank yous. I don't need no flowers. We've been telling y'all this shit. So when November come around and you look at your wallet and everything else, and you're like, God, you can't even breathe right. Just chill. You know what I'm saying? Just chill. We got you. Stop buying gold at 4,400. Stop buying at the top.
Don't buy the top. Yeah, don't be exit liquidity,
And if you're
please.
gonna buy now, just put it in. You'll be fine. There's still more room.
Mm-hmm.
Go silver before gold.
100%.
And if you didn't watch the members only, the dots were connected in that. The history repeats itself. It literally repeats itself. These guys can't even like come up with a new script. It's the same script. Their money flows the same way. It goes in and out of these capital markets like nobody's business. And then you left like, oh shit, my no, stop looking at if you're the devil is in the details, like Champ said. Look behind, find out why it crashed first. And then you'll start to understand it. I got so much data in my head, I can't even like capitalize on this shit really like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even know where to start. I activated my Webull account again. I threw some couple options, and I'm telling you, y'all want to play that ETF game? You need to start shorting them things, especially regional bank ETFs. And tomorrow I'll drop some to y'all.
Yeah.
But I hate to even play that game with these guys because I know I'm positioned in a game that they're not even really in fully yet. Watch the price of Bitcoin next year. Watch.
Let's go.
And those guys you listening to, they have better entry points than you too. Of course, everybody wants to see it go to $1 million if I got a $10,000 entry point, but they're gonna get smoked too because they don't know when to come out. And I'm hoping that they're not that dumb and stuck on stupid thinking that this is the rail.
They know better, man.
And
Jack
it's
Dorsey already told them. He let the cat out.
95% of Bitcoin holders are institutional investors in countries. What are
Yes.
you telling me right now? These guys don't move off the same beat? Please. Nah, you killed that, but they needed that shit a little bit easier.
Yeah, 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 man. Nah, it be like that, man. Especially connecting all these integrations, the connection pieces. You know what I mean? But shit, in true dot connect fashion. You know what I mean?
Listen, if anything, drop that 1% link, and then you can give that coupon that we created earlier for my. You
Oh,
can just throw that out there. This is the last time I'm throwing this price out there for that 1% group.
whoa. Oh nah, he blessing. He blessing everybody. You want it on the replay too, or just
Now
on the
it could sit on the replay.
all
It got
right,
to the end of the
wow.
month to figure that part out. And trust me,
All
we
right,
got
so
guys in this
nobody
course that
nobody
that figure
dropped
it out.
nothing in the chat. Nobody dropped nothing in the chat. I'm about to drop something for y'all. So that's the link. And I'm gonna give y'all the coupon code for it. Wow, he blessed y'all.
And listen, is Lance on here? We
Uh,
had a meeting earlier. Lance said something that was so profound, and this is wild. The strongest piece of ID that you can hold right now is your passport, and nobody's passport is positioned correctly. For the most part, nobody's passport is positioned correctly. Does anybody have the new passport? Did anybody just get a passport within the last month or two? Just drop a one in the chat. Go look at your passport right now and tell me, do you see one or two things? Does it say United States of America or does it say the United States of America? You know, there's no IRS right now. Damn near. That after this tax season, that joint smoked. It's all AI handling that stuff.
yeah, it's the United States.
Go look
Yep.
at the old one now.
Yeah.
Your place of birth is the United States of America. Ask yourself, where were you? You were born in the United States of America? The strongest ID you can have right now is your passport if it's positioned correctly. How many constitutions we got? You know, every state has a constitution, right?
Absolutely.
So everybody in this call is from the District of Columbia. I'm just asking.
Hell nah.
Oh, okay. If you don't get that piece of ID in order, I am telling you, outside of your job and then maybe some access to food later, the food ain't a big deal, but the job situation and not being able to rent apartments, not being able to like all those systems of everything that we do is going to require you to tap into a system. And this is why I tell you that we could do one of two things. You could just comply and then whatever, or people build alternate rails and then you just move the places that don't even really subscribe to that because it's not going to be every city, it's going to be the big boys, the LAs, the New Yorks, right? The Chicagos.
Yep.
And you could tell too, because when you look at two of the most conservative states in the United States, between California, just LA and cities, LA and New York, and when you looked at how they handle COVID in those two places, I'm like, wow, because everything else in the middle is fall for everything. And I'm not saying whatever. I'm just telling you that these are cities that move a lot of major money. Like it's a lot of there's a lot of things happening, and people were just complying left and right, left and right. It was so easy to pick that off. And when I saw that, I said, you know what? That's kind of a bigger picture story right there. I say at this point, man, fuck the job because it ain't gonna be around like that anyway. So this is the part of the positioning right now. This is the part of just figuring out, can you live outside of this system right here? That convenience is a cover up, man. Nobody willfully gives up their freedom. It's always linked to one thing, and I said it last night: crisis. You tap in and pay. That's digital ID. Apple Pay. Whose network you on? You remember Kanye was crying about a year ago. Nobody understood. Oh, they stopped. I can't use my Apple Pay. Andrew Tate, same thing. Like when you start hearing these things, don't like be part of the clown system. Like not feeling bad for these guys. It's not so much about them. It's just about the message that they're delivering.
Mm-hmm.
You can't rent cars. These guys, these are citizens that can't use. They can't even rent a house on Airbnb with their name on it. Tate I fuck with because he'll just pull out different passports. He'll figure out how to get up out of there because his mobility sovereignty is different than any of us on here right now. When you have 5, 6, 7 passports, I'm not saying that you got to move that village, that militant like that, but I'm just telling you that if you want to speak against a system, you cannot utilize the system. And I'm not putting up this fight for nobody. I'm doing what I need to do for me in the best interest of my family. And if I got to go dark, then I just go dark. Because
Yeah.
what happens when you lose leadership and you don't got community
You go on the boat by yourself.
or no house phone? That's hardwired. Shit goes silent. Now you got to sit in your thoughts. And if you ain't get them 5 categories together, man, good luck. Because crisis makes people do dumb shit. You're not thinking straight. I wasn't thinking straight during COVID. What the fuck was happening? I was like, yo, everybody just stay in the house. I'll go out.
Mm-hmm.
Now you look back on it, it's like, that was ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous. In hindsight,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they got us though, man. This tech, we cannot break away from this shit.
Nah. And they gonna continue to
Put a
integrate.
one in the chat if you could turn your phone off for 30 days right now. All right. That's what I'm talking about.
Somebody said nah.
All right. You
Shit.
see all these ones? Y'all want to start it now?
Nah, we need y'all. Y'all gotta
That's
stay.
the difference in the question. Listen, when you start answering these assessment questions that I put together, like this ain't about like big whatever. You shut your phone off right now for
Mhm.
30 days. Come on.
Now let's do it. No. Let's do it. Yeah.
Now, before we do that, we need to just get off the dependency stuff first. The Googles, the Gmail, the
Mhm.
Amazon,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You start to
Mhm.
going back to brick and mortar, mom and pop, true value, hardware stores. I was on that run a couple summers ago. Then I came right back into it. Box at the door. Box at the door. It's just dumb. It's super convenient. Listen, we got hundreds of members coming in right now. I
Back.
knew this was going to happen. And not even so much for the dollar situation. Watch the tsunami of liquidity hit and watch the tsunami of new students trying to come in here as we're exiting. So listen, you guys, you're going to need to help some people out inside those community chats, man. I'm leaning on y'all. You don't have to, but I'm not, because we put together them emails, we put together the framework. We are constantly trying to even tell y'all up to an hour before what time this call starts. I'm over it. Y'all growing
Hmm.
too dependent on this shit. I'm ready to get to work. Saturday, 10 a.m. Personal call. Skype and Venture. I'm laying it out. I'm ready to get to work. I'm putting IP under my belt, intellectual property. That is an asset class that nobody talks about. Creating products that are going to tell people what's happening in an easy manner, whether it be the AI impact report, whether it be the sovereignty app. It is going to, I am figuring out new ways to utilize technology before this whole thing switches. Because the way we've been doing it is just too much work for people. Smoke this call today, though.
Word.
Yo, release him, man, because we got a call tomorrow night. So we've been talking. We
Yeah,
had
no,
a
we
Monday
out.
night call. We had a Tuesday. We had a Wednesday.
We got a Thursday and we got a Saturday.
A Thursday, and we got a Saturday. So our only day off this week is Friday and Sunday. And I'm ready to turn this up until when it's off, it's going to be off. I'm just letting y'all know that now.
Mm-hmm.
So if we hear, don't play dumb. If you're in the academy, we have an events calendar. Link your information or your calendar to it. Stop contacting us about where's the link or do you have a dot connect. I'm no longer sending out text messages reminding you guys about this stuff. It's either we're contacting your phone and you dialed in, and if we not, I don't want to hear shit. When these prices run up, I don't want to hear shit. I'm gonna be minding my business, and you should too. I'll keep presenting opportunities before the price ran up. I'll present opportunities after, but at some point, this has to come to an end. And we got to move on to some other shit. Got access to a whole resort on the Caribbean Sea. Fuck, man.
Pop your shit.
I want to be doing this shit. Please. Please. Cut the internet. Unplug the Starlink.
You.
Straight up. We own the infrastructure. Not the Starlink, but we own the infrastructure.
Straight up.
Codependency shit is whack, man. And I'm the wrong guy for it. So listen, use me, man. I'm right in front of the firing squad. Y'all ain't got nothing to be worried about. I know I'm highly favored.
Big blessed. Let's go.
I'm excited. I'm excited, man. Because I'm to the point now that I don't even like really give a fuck. You know, I used to care about everybody landing well, and I'm like, man, listen, they don't even care about landing well. Like, who am I to block y'all blessings? You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting in the way of nobody's karma.
Mm-hmm.
Figure that shit out. If you can't log in, clear your cache, clear your cookies, try again. If you can't get in, email us skyandhelp@gmail.com. And that's it. And we're going to keep delivering until we don't. All right, what you got, man? You got more? I cut in. My bad.
No. You good. Now we out of here. I got moves to make. You got stuff to do. Bro,
Well, I'm here for the outro.
We working. So let's go. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dot Connect 115. Peace, love. We out. Now I'm just playing. But for real. This is how we gonna do this. What's really happening right now is not about a news cycle. It's a transfer of power. Every acquisition, every partnership, every lockup, none of it is random. This is precision. What you're watching is a new financial order literally being coded in real time. It's called a quiet revolution. This is where you're starting to see everything that we spoke about for many years happen right under our noses, and we got a front row seat. The control of money becomes the control of the future. Understand this. While the rest of the world is chasing hype, they're chasing headlines, the institutions, they're absorbing the rails. They're partnering. They're collaborating. This is not speculation. They're literally securing everything that they need to change the system that we know. The window for everyday people to own the same assets that these institutions are locking away is going to soon close forever. So do not just sit on the sidelines watching these markets move. Position yourself in a system that's replacing the old one. If you don't have a home, Skyton Academy is where you should join. First month is $1. After that, it's $50. No promo code needed, no barriers, just knowledge, just demonstration, real access. skytonacademy.com. And listen, Steve said history doesn't repeat. It doesn't. It compounds. And those who understand where it's going are going to be the ones who own the future. I'm Champ. This is Steve. This is Connect, Wednesdays, episode 115, the institutional lockup. Stay dangerous, stay connected. See y'all same time next week. Big love.
Shalom.
Shalom. Barakatah.
Put it in the book.
I like that one.
Good shit.
Yeah, great work, man. YouTube, man, we love you.